Good afternoon, hello, and let's see. We're ready for more Clash of Code. No, not Clash of Code yet. We're doing something else. I tried another Clash of Code last night after stream, and I got the fastest finisher again. That's 4 in a row. I feel like there was I was getting extremely unlucky with that. But okay, let's see where we are. So a bunch of this stuff opened up for me as I just I clicked through all the things. I can't remember if I did that on stream or after stream. But okay, so we're on AI. It's asking us to get to the bronze league of any game. I noticed also it asked us and it suggested that instead of playing like this game, it suggested that we play Ghost in the Cell. But we got a few of these. This one looks fun anyway, so we're continuing on. We're in Wood 1 now. All we have to do, I think, is win one more, and we'll be in Bronze, which will be great. So let's continue on. Let's see how far we can go. So what do we have to do? So okay, we now have access to boost. So we're going to have to boost to go once per race. You may substitute your desired thrust with the keyword boost to grant your pod a burst of speed. So my thought is when we're far enough away and our angle is 0, we apply boost. And we can also track to see if we've used it already. And I'm guessing that it looks like it kept everything that we had done. Oh, that's so super good. I would be so upset if it reset everything for us. Okay, so what I'm thinking of is that we store in just a little flag here. We have not used boost. And sometime in here, before our print line, we want to check to see if we're on max thrust. So if our thrust is 100, then we just apply boost. Like maybe we just do it the first time. And just we'll see how that goes. So maybe here we'll clamp it down to you. So if speed is equal to 100 and used boost, then use boost, let's speed is equal to that's going to be interesting, isn't it? I want this to be a string now instead of whatever this is. Can I turn this in? I can string it. And immediately ester it. I probably just want to string it. So if I'm stringing it, then you'll be a 2-owned. And then that will print out just fine. Zilby, you wanted to come in and hang out? Zilby. All right, hold on. Let me go see how Zippy's doing. I heard him meowing a lot. Hi. All right, I got kitty cat. You want to hang out here, or do you want to hang out next to the heater? Okay. All right, so then we do boost, and then that's only going to happen once per race. Oh, no. If we use the boost, now I need a set. I need to mention that, otherwise it would be every single time. Okay. He wants me to follow him out and play with him, unfortunately, which I can't do right now. I'll have to play with him later. All right, let's see if this works. It might just boost me straight off the bat, which might be okay, and maybe we'll win. Looks like we fail right away. It's 1 frame long. Oh. Invalid input, expected XY power, but found... Okay. Oh, it's all capitals boost. That's a little bit better. I kind of wish we could do boost multiple times. That first one is really far away. So I was kind of hoping that when we use boost, I used boost here. I used boost when I was almost to it. Oh no. Okay. That's clearly a problem, because then we immediately start slowing down right away. So I'm thinking we have a couple different strategies here. One, we can try to determine which one's the longest straightaway that we're going on. And when we are when we're heading to the longest one and our angle is 0, apply boost. I don't think we're allowed to see where everything is, right? We only get next checkpoint and next checkpoint distance. T-Kettle Drone, hello. How are you doing today? Yeah, this AI one is pretty good. And I really like how they walk you through it. Like it's fairly slow. Because they tell us like, hey, we're eventually going to get into like, you know, pretty advanced AI with this, and we're not having to worry about it. I kind of want to rewrite a bunch of this stuff because it's really just like there's so much boilerplate here, and it just bothers me a little bit. It's not a problem yet, but I can imagine this is going to be a problem pretty soon. What happens if I full screen that? Oh, that full screen is all this. Oh, that's not too bad. Wait, can I? Oh, I can't move this around. Yeah, it's all a mess. We could, because I can imagine us putting this into a struct, which could be really nice. There is no CodinGame. Well, I guess I don't need to worry about this because we know this is all just strings or anything else. What do you think of working in your own editor? Yeah, so I'm wondering about that. So if we updated Rust this morning, so unless a new Rust came out between this morning and now, we're okay. We can cargo new this. Yeah, I think we can cargo new this. And this is Mad Pod Racing. Let's do CodinGame first. Actually, you know what? We can just do Mad Pod Racing. Okay, so this will be Mad Pod Racing, and then we can have a description. CodinGame. Okay, and we can all take a look at the code then too. All right, so here is that code in case you're interested in it. I don't have anything in there yet, but we're about to get that. So right now we pretty much just have everything inside of here, and that is not okay. That's not what I wanted. I forgot. I need to recopy you. Can I do other files? I cannot. Everything's gonna have to be in the same file here. That's okay. We'll just have to sort of be aware of that. Okay. So this is... I guess when we run this, it's interesting. So I could do some automated tests. and basically run each game thing through the loop here and then test it outside of it, that could be interesting. But again, we need to do this all in one file. I can't sort of like pull it all together unless there's like a pre-compile step which like combines it all into one, which I don't think there is. I don't think it's like JavaScript where I can run it all together and use a bundler to sort of bring it all in at the end. And I can't like upload a binary. All right, so I think we want to start thinking about like game state. So I know that false for the Boolean is the default, but in case I want to change it around, I think it might be good for us to explicitly set it, so that way I can easily find this again later. Okay, so we've got that. So then, okay, the very first thing we're going to do here is that. Okay, so I create a new game state. We're gonna loop through here. And then I need to pull in all of this stuff into probably a different struct. And then we can pass in our game state into whatever run thing this is. So this feels like another struct. Be like a turn. Like this is a tick. And then this will be things like our input line, our opponents. Okay, so that reads from like process, collect data. I mean, I could just do new. And so this would, I essentially could do this all inside of there, can't I? I probably want something like the input line. Oh, this might be part of game state. I bet this is part of game state. So I initialize. So I create a new game state, and we just have basically nothing in here. But then each time we run a tick, so I'll have something like pub function, so like a new tick or something like that. It's like each new frame, each new time through the loop, we want to gather data in, and then we're going to do something based on it. So and I don't know if I'll probably just do all this stuff in here, right? So here we're going to grab these things like that, right? And I might actually get all of these things here. Okay, so input line, opponents. I feel like this thing though, well, it might be okay to have these things in here. So input line and opponents, and that gives us the like content of the line. So I want our current X, current Y, I'm going to keep it all flat like this for right now, and then I could break this up into its own structs if I really feel I need to. So that's angle, then we're going to have now that's an F64, but I probably want this to be just an F32. Okay, so if I do some of these things I can remove out and they'll be the defaults in here. Okay, so there's no need for me to have these be, I could derive default for this. Okay, so in that case, I might as well just like let that be default. My entire thing about like, yeah, I should not do that. I'm not gonna worry about it. Now, can I do something like, yeah, okay, so I can do default, and then we can change things here. So all of those things will start with 0.0 and false for that used boost. So that'll be fine. And in fact, I don't even need a new if I'm doing default. We'll just set something up to use default here. Like, there we go. Okay, so we have the default. And then we get the input line, we get the opponents, we get that. Okay, so we get the inputs. And now we can start updating these things, right? So we could say self.x is now, we get that. No, thank you. Self.y. Now, are these all the same? They are all the same, aren't they? Oh, but then here's where it gets different. Distance weight, we just sort of, these get updated as part of our default. So I do need a new. Okay, so that updates those, and then everything else is default. And then this okay, so this process tick gives me that. Okay. So really I should probably update this to be like update. I want to like update the information. It's like update state. Okay, so we update you. Now this one is updating our like a raw speed. So what I would like to do is maybe like, we're gonna have some functions in here. So we'll have a speed. And then we'll want to set our speed. And then this is where we're doing that, right? So okay, speed equals speed. Why are you upset? Oh, because now you should be, okay, we're keeping this as an F32 right now. We're going to turn it into the thing that is supposed to be at the very last second. Okay. So, okay, now we set the speed. Now we determine if we need to use boost. Let's ignore that for a second. And then we're going to determine what we need to do. Now I could implement display, right? But I think I want to maybe have like a run function. Like actually like do the thing. Which you are going to return. Let's have you return a string. So we'll format with this, and then that way I can just do a print line and then just like run the function, and that will be fine. Okay, so what do we have our speed, so we know what the next check. Okay, so we know where we're going for the next checkpoint. So I guess like in that case, I want to just basically return this. Shouldn't I be? Oh, there's errors elsewhere, so it's having trouble. Oh, it'd be helpful if I used the correct syntax, wouldn't it? Okay, so there we go. We run and we then we do the thing. Okay, so you're happy to a point. We have some warnings, but no errors. Now, I don't think we're going to win with this, but I think, oh, well. Invalid input, expected XY power, but found XY not a number. Cool. Oh, I don't calculate. Oh, I don't run new. See, that's why we're supposed to run fix all the warnings. Better. And then we crash. Okay, so what happened? Invalid input, expected XY power, but found the float. So I want to convert that into a okay, so I need to convert the speed. Now I can parse this. Can I? We can do that. Okay, we last a lot longer, but I'm pretty sure we still lose. Can we see when our boss opponent uses boost? I'm not sure it uses a different animation for that. But okay, we lose. Now we need to figure out when to use boost and how we're going to add that in there. So I'm thinking we can have a function for should boost. And then that can set our speed, right? Andrew, hello. How are you doing today? How do we know if we should boost, right? We should. Okay, so this is a function. We can do this style of documentation. We can boost if we are pointed at the next checkpoint. We are, so it is the longest distance to the next checkpoint. Oh, Mad Pod Racing. Oh, let me show you. So this is really cool. So this is a coding game. It is a, it's one of those like challenge websites where you can go and, you know, do code challenges, except it's gaming. So this is our match here. We are this pod right there. We're the sort of like the light colored one. And unfortunately, okay, there. I just saw it boosted on the first lap towards number 2. And that gave it a nice head start, and we never catch up again. So you're programming a bot to race in a game? Yeah, that's exactly it. So every tick in this race, we get into standard input our location, the location of the next checkpoint we're going to. We can even get our opponents, whether or not they're where they are. And that's it. We lost. So what we're trying to figure out is, when do we boost? We have one boost that we can use once. In the last one, we used it while we were decelerating on the way into a checkpoint, so we can do a tight turn, which is obviously completely useless if we're boosting right when we're braking. So we kind of want to boost when we're starting to accelerate. Do we care? So they boost on the first lap. Do we care about boosting on a first lap, or do we want to wait until like the last lap? Do we know? I don't think we know what lap we're on, and we don't know. All we know is like which checkpoint we're in. We don't necessarily know. We could track the checkpoints. Yeah, I don't think that mattered. Okay. That makes sense. So if we're sufficiently far enough away, whatever that means. So maybe we have like a distance. So min distance to boost. Yes, so in here we're competing against a boss, which is just an AI that's made by, I believe, the game itself, so CodinGame. But when I test in the arena, it's going to play against multiple other players, and then sort of like, then we'll see how we do. The last time we did it, we got promoted to Wood 1, and we had started in, I think I started in Wood 3. I played on my own before this, like 3 years ago, and did 1. And then yesterday we got to Wood 2, and today we're going to hope to see if we can get to Bronze. So what I want to see is when we are... pointed here, so we're pointed at 2. Our distance... Oh, I can't actually see the distance. Okay, hold on. Let's print that out. Let's see if we could find out for the longest one. Oh, because, you know what? Apparently I didn't give it any input. I probably shouldn't hard code a number, because what if all the, like, it just puts things really close together. It might do that, because it might be random where it starts. Also, why is this failing? What did I do wrong? I have an error. Min distance to boost. Oh, because I didn't even write, I didn't finish this. Let's do like 5,000. I don't think I can, can I share this one? Oh, I can just share this. Here's the link to Mad Pod Racing. It's fun. Oh, but Andrew, you're on CodinGame because we played yesterday with the Clash of Code. Okay, so we've got you. Did I copy? Now I just chose 5,000 as an arbitrary number. So far they have one that's like farther distance. Do they state? The disposition of the checkpoints is selected randomly for each race. it does not say that there's definitely going to be a like one of these that are like really far apart. So it's very possible that I'll never boost if it's not, if I choose some number that's too large for when to boost. And it doesn't state that it has to be 3 of these checkpoints. It could be an unknown number of them too. I almost feel like I want to wait until I've seen all the checkpoints, like locations, once. And then once I go back to the original one again, we figure out which is the checkpoint is the largest distance, and then we boost then. Or we boost right away. Like it's one of those two, right? We either boost right away. I don't like that. If we boost right away, that would have been to right here. That's a big waste. Let's just try the 5,000 one. Let's underthink it. Okay, so if self dot okay, so if we've not used the boost, okay, so if we reach that, then I want to do, actually this is, you know what? I don't need the if. We just do that. This is what we return. So in run here, yeah, let's not over anticipate stuff. Yeah, I kind of like that. So we do our speed. Okay, so if self dot should boost, sometimes being naive is good. Sometimes being naive is good. Okay, so if we should boost, then I want to return the word boost as a string, but I also want to self dot used boost. We've now used the boost. If we're not boosting, then I want to self dot speed as I32 I don't think it knows how to do that. I have to do that. Oh, do that. That's my way of getting out of overthinking through knots anyways. Oh, that's probably a good like thing to say to ourselves, right? It's like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. We have to just be naive. We have to be naive because we don't really know what we're supposed to be doing and we can't be perfect now, right? I like that. That's really good. And then speed, that still implements display, so we're good regardless. So let's remove those parentheses. Let's remove, okay, there it is. All of our warnings are gone. And let's test. I used my boost already. And I'm still way behind. Dark Gray Mage, hello. How are you doing today? You should also check the angle between your movement vector and a check. Yeah, I probably should. So that was the initial thing, is like we should check to see our angle is 0, pointed directly at it. Because when did I boost? We're waiting. We'll let myself lose. Okay, I don't like this thing where like Firefox grabs this window and then it's like sitting here and clicked. Okay, so I've passed the second checkpoint, so we need to go to the third checkpoint. I am facing almost 100% the opposite way, and I just said that we're boosting. So you are absolutely right, Dark Gray Mage. We are boosting in the wrong direction, which then we immediately apply the brakes, which is a complete waste of that boost. How you set up code? Oh, it's I just created a project, and this is all in the main.rs file. So nothing, and I'm just copying and pasting back and forth. So it's nothing. It's pretty simple. All right, so let's do self-use boost and checkpoint distance, and then okay, so this is the first one to check, and then just to be efficient, because we like to do that in Rust, I want to, okay, so if we have used the boost, we don't even want to go to the next check. If this next check was going to be self dot our angle should be equal to 0. So if we're pointed directly at it, and it's over the amount of the minimum distance, we're going to boost. And I just arbitrarily said 5,000, but I don't really know what a good number is. So we'll see. Maybe CodinGame has some kind of endpoints for auto syncing your file with it somehow. That would be really cool. I haven't looked to see. That would be amazing though, if they had that. Jim Fike, hello. How are you doing today? It's been a while since you visited streams. Nice to see more Rust game dev. Yeah, it's nice to do some playing around with Rust too. Oh, it didn't like that at all. Because checkpoint angle. Yeah, okay. Because you're an F. There's a. Because it's an F32, isn't there a way to me to check to see if it's really close to that? Like a close equal or something? I forget what it's called. No, it's not that. It's ordering. Okay. Okay, let's see if... Oh, okay. I was hoping Rust Analyzer would yell at me about this, but I guess it doesn't. There's a Chrome plugin, CodinGame Sync Beta. Oh. Oh, it's Jim or Jim FYYC. I vaguely remember that. You told me that before, didn't you? I will try to, well, I'll probably just try to remember to call you Jim, but thank you for that. Also, a Chrome plugin for it. That's pretty awesome. In the meantime, let's paste this in. And see if this works any better. Oh, there, I boosted towards it. I think we're still losing though. We are definitely still losing. By a lot. Okay, so the boost worked. So there's where you boost, and then it's about at the same exact time that our opponent boosted too, which means that it didn't help us at one bit at all. Like, we have to be faster than our opponent without boosts, and we're slower. What is our opponent doing? Our opponent is going like... How is our opponent turning that quickly? It feels like it's on normal boost, like something less than 100% for those. Oh, is it my... Oh, cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Awesome. Said radius of checkpoints is 400, I think. Could use that to get more precise braking. Oh, yeah. I wonder if we should increase our braking. We could increase our point break distance, or actually, I probably want to decrease our point break distance because we're starting to brake too early, I think. I think what we want to do is like super fast and then nothing and then turn and then go. What if our brake distance was... Checkpoints are circulated with a radius of 600 units. Okay, so what if we just do super naive 600 breakpoint distance? So right at the edge of it. Oh, you should start turning in advance so you can... Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So when we're in... But how would we know? Because we haven't... I guess we just have to guess which direction to turn, right? Am I doing the NPC AI players? Right now, I guess this will eventually play against other human players. Right now, I'm playing against a single boss AI in like locally, and then I can test in the arena against real players. Which I think is a really cool idea. It means like you have low pressure to sort of get things working and then submit once you're ready to like go against everybody else. How do I know which direction to start turning? I should store the checkpoint coordinates. Oh, okay. So then I can track which one I'm at. That makes sense. Okay, we could do that. So we know where, so basically in the first lap, we don't know where they are. We don't even know does it say that it's always 3 checkpoints and then the finish line? No, it does not. So there could be more than 3. There can be up to 5. Does it say here somewhere? I'm not seeing where it says how many checkpoints there can be. I think in my league there's 3, and then later on there can be 5. That maybe that's what it is. Either way, it should be fairly trivial for us to program something that's just dynamic for it. So we're going to have a struct for the checkpoint. Now, if we have a struct for a checkpoint, that's going to be, so we have like an X. And a Y, that's going to be an F32. And we can also have a radius, which we know is, we can do an F32, but we know that's going to be 600. Because we know that, let's use a static or a const. We can probably do a const. You don't want to spoil too much? You're in Diamond League? Yeah, don't spoil too much. This is fairly fun for us to go through. And this is also the first of these sort of like AI games that I've done with CodinGame. I played a little bit like 3 years ago, and then I haven't touched it since. So it is a lot of fun. All right, what are we doing? We are the const, it's gonna be a checkpoint radius. Okay, so we can create a new checkpoint. Do we start at the center? No, we don't. We start somewhere around the checkpoint. So we actually don't know where the final checkpoint is, do we? So all we know is the next checkpoint. Which means, okay, for our game state, we want to now store the checkpoints. Oh, the desktop. Oh, it only works on Chrome OS? Oh, that's too bad. Ooh, so should we store this as an object, so like a hash map? Or should we store this as a vector? Like the initial thought is we store this as a vector, and then we can sort of keep track of where we are. but I can see us looking differently. The better Owen, hello. How are you doing today? You know what we can do? We can store checkpoints as a hash map. Ooh, okay, so can I do this? Can I store this? Oh, wait, am I allowed to access hash map in here? What is it, collection? I think I am. Well, it's not yelling at me that I can't do that, so we're going to use a hash map to store this. Are you doing a Mad Pod Racing code challenge? Yeah, I am. So we can take a look here. I'm in Mad Pod Racing. Here is the link to it in case you're interested in joining in. Okay, can I do a tuple of F32, F32? That would be the key, right? And then we can do... Oh, really? You can switch the boss player to a human player of your choice. I didn't realize you could do that. Maybe after we beat the boss, then we can... Well, I assume that eventually I'm going to get to a league where beating the boss doesn't automatically mean I'm going to beat all the human players. Like so far in Wood League, I think that if I beat the boss, like I just automatically am going to rise to the next one because everyone else is terrible. Like half of our other opponents in the other, like the previous one, just crashed. So we just auto won. You'd probably do a vector. Here's what I'm thinking. We do, not whatever that was. We do this. We do a hash map of a tuple F32, F32s. That would be our X and Y, right? And then we have a U8 as a counter. So we can figure out how many times we've been to it. But you're right. The problem is that, oh wait, but there's a problem. How do I know what the next one is going to be? I don't know that, right? Because the order of the hash map is not kept unless I use a B-tree map, I want to say. I can use a B-tree map and then the order is kept. And I can maybe, can I get the next one from an arbitrary hash map? Oh, that's a book. I want the... Oh, I can't get it. So it might be best just to... I mean, there's not going to be very many of them, and we're pretty fast. I should be able to just loop through them all and find... Oh, you know what? we can keep an index of where we are in a separate field with a vector. So maybe the vector is just a better idea. And then I'll go back to having a struct for the thing we're doing. Okay, so I still have this checkpoint here. Let's go back to that. I think you're right. I think a vector is better. Thinking about it further. You need to implement debug and yeah, just debug. Now, as soon as we hit a checkpoint, so that means we're within... So when I initialize, I should know exactly what we're doing, right? So for this one, we have... Oh, but I don't know what it is. That's all part of process, right? Now we have update state, but this runs every single time. So I need to find out is this a new checkpoint or not? Which means we probably need a current checkpoint. No, we need a current checkpoint index. Now, normally I might set this to like a usize. Are F32 float needed for Vex and XY player coordinates? No, I don't need to do that. Right now, I'm doing that because I'm sort of dynamically calculating our thrust, and it's a lot easier to do that kind of math with F32s than it is just with integers. So I convert them to F32s when I get them. I do all this stuff, and I convert the speed back to an well, I just turn into a string right now, but basically an integer with no decimal points, and just go from there. If I do usize, I would have to do an option to know if it's our first. Okay, so either I need a flag for first turn, or we do a current checkpoint index of like a -1. So if I do something like an I32, this doesn't feel safe. I don't like it. Let's just go for more code but be safe. So we'll do an option and a usize. And so by default, that's going to be a none. Okay, perfect. So then when we're updating a state, if our current checkpoint index is none, then we can set it to be these things. Can I update? No, yeah. So I just want it to be if it's none, right? So if you're none, then I want to do self dot current checkpoint index equals, you're going to be a sum. Oh, and you're going to be set to 0. But I also want to set the checkpoint. Ooh, so what I really want to do is determine, have we hit the checkpoint yet, right? Right? Like I want to see, hey, if we're at a checkpoint, then like, have we seen it? So I wonder if I want a state machine. We could do a state. Okay, so I could do a state machine. Tell me what you all think about this. Our possible states are we are thrusting, boosting, turning, no, this, I feel like I'm over engineering this. We're either moving to the next, like we're moving to the next thing, or we're hitting the thing. I could do like a state for this for the first turn. That's like that Boolean then. I've done it with some game dev before in the past, and that was fine. What I want to do is I want to know if I'm within 600 of the current checkpoint. So okay, I definitely need a set next checkpoint. So I need that function no matter what. So let's do that. So we're gonna have a function. And with this, I want to, I guess we're gonna check to see if over engineer, then trim and factory, and better to start with a long piece of wood than have to glue it back together. I don't know if that's true in code though. I feel like it's easier to just do simpler and make dumb assumptions and then fix those later. You can use checkpoint coordinates, which you get from the input, store it once, and then you get it, assign an index to it. Yeah. So like the first one I have to set. So like set next checkpoint. So basically I want to, whenever it changes, okay, can I see what these are? So next checkpoint. It's not run. It's the other one. Parse input. No, not parse input. It's update state. That's what it was. Okay, so things I want to do. Update state. We need to, if we are at the next checkpoint, set it as our destination. Which means we really need to check to see if we were at the next checkpoint. Feature creep then? I mean, that's development, right? If we're at the next checkpoint, so okay, are we at the next checkpoint? That's what I need to know. If we're at the next checkpoint, then we decide what to do with that. So that's what this next function can be. Are we at the next checkpoint? Always improving. Get it? Yeah, that's what we're doing in life and in code. Okay, so are we at the next checkpoint? Well, how do we know, right? Well, first of all, if we have an option, if we have a none, then we're at the next checkpoint. So then this is going to be a Boolean, which means we're not going to mutate. So I guess first off, we're going to do a if let sum so let sum the index current checkpoint index, otherwise we are going to return true. We're at the next checkpoint right here. We can set a default for this to be false right now. And how would you advance to next league? So next league to advance is just we win, right? We win a series of races with the current one. Are the checkpoints predetermined when you spawn? Yes, but we only see the next ones. We don't see all of them. Oh, sorry. In my mind, predetermined meant something different. We don't know what they are. They could be anything. So the game itself determines what the checkpoints are going to be and then spawns us into the map, but then they stay there. Like the checkpoints don't move around once the map has started. So then we go 3 laps around them. So yeah, not predetermined, but they are static. Yeah, I think misunderstanding all around, but hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so are we at the next checkpoint? That was state. Okay, so if we're at the next checkpoint, set it as our destination. So we're going to do if self dot are we at the next checkpoint? So we are at the next checkpoint, which means we need to set the next checkpoint as our destination, which means now we need to know, Andrew, you got promoted to Bronze League. Congratulations. Are we at the next checkpoint? Now I need to determine, have we seen this checkpoint before? So that's next. So wherever, I wish I could go like up from 1 from that. Let's see, hold on. I've got to answer this really quickly. Okay. I wish I knew a better way of jumping up and down far in like the file. I don't think I have that. Oh, there's jump cues. Oh, I can set jump cues. That would be good. I don't really do much with that yet. Okay. What am I doing? I got distracted. Okay, so are we at the next checkpoint? Okay, so next up of have we seen this checkpoint? So I don't know why I'm doing pub on these. We don't need to. So have we seen next checkpoint? Now, I sometimes when I'm like unknown what I'm doing and sort of like thinking things out, I just program in extremely explicit ways like this, and we can refactor later if we need to, but oftentimes it just ends up being really small functions and easy to sort of wrap my brain around. So I sometimes just keep them. But the names do get pretty long when I do this. Okay, have we seen the next checkpoint? How do we know if we've seen the next checkpoint? We want to probably have a checkpoint passed in, don't we? So that would be next, which is going to be a checkpoint. You can be a reference to a checkpoint, so we don't take ownership of it. And we need to know what our current checkpoint is. To get the current checkpoint, we can grab that out. So we can do some. We're going to get by the index, which means, okay, that gives us an option. Otherwise, we're going to return false. Right? Why does that give me an option output? Oh, because this is an option. Okay, so this is the reason why it might be good for us to not use an option for this, because now we need to deal with this. Okay, so okay, so I've grabbed you. I now have the current checkpoint, and so I want to now compare the current checkpoint to the checkpoint we got there. So they don't implement partial equal, but we can fix that. So, okay, so have we seen the next checkpoint? If this returns true, we have seen the next checkpoint. Otherwise, it is false. Jim, thanks for hanging out with us a little bit today, and have a great rest of your day. Okay, so now we have we seen our next checkpoint? Good. You suddenly understood why divergent type bang is important? What do you mean? Okay, so if we are at the next checkpoint, then we want to see if self dot have we seen the next checkpoint? Okay, not very fun. Right, we have to check. We have to figure out what the next checkpoint is. Divergent functions never return or something, right? Don't they return different things? Or they can return different things? Like different types? Or am I just misunderstanding that? So in the scope of that, let some else return, the else scope is divergent. Oh, yeah. I think that's true. I think that's true in that case, yeah. I never really thought of that as divergent. But it's the same type. If it does not terminate or terminates in an exceptional state. We are both wrong. Apparently, if we crashed, that would be a divergent. Yeah, but we converge to the right state. So we're that is a learning moment. Okay, so I need to create. Okay, so the next checkpoint, if we are at, oh, right, because it's possible. Okay, so the next, so I need to know. Oh, if you try to do that, let some else without a return, it gets an error like block should diverge or something like that. Because it's going to crash and the compiler won't let you do that. So that makes sense. So it's divergent. The compiler says, you can't do that. Come on. Okay, so I did that other function wrong. I don't need to do that way. It's I figure out what the index is, and we're going to figure out what I guess I need to know. Do we want to like keep track of what lap number we're on? I probably eventually do, but right now, maybe. So like I'm going through it, I figure out like I guess we already know what the next checkpoint is. So let's just do next checkpoint. Is gonna be, it's simple, right? Okay, so if we have seen the next checkpoint, then I just want to increment our index. Regardless, we're incrementing our index, aren't we? So if it is, if we're at the length, so if really, I probably want to just do this as like current checkpoint index plus equals to 1. And then we say, okay, if self dot checkpoints dot length. If you're equal to self dot current checkpoint index. Now, the pragmatic programmer would know that we can never get above this. However, the pragmatic programmer knows that the impossible happens quite often. So if we're ever above or equal to the current checkpoint index, then I want to set this back to 0. Oh, because these are options again. Can I map inside of it? I have to return. Okay, so I can't update it. No, I can't. Okay, so hold on. I can do this. Set you that equals to self dot current checkpoint index dot map. Get the index, and then we'll do this in here, right? So if I say, okay, you're going to be mutable, do index plus equals to 1. Then we do this without me doing whatever that is with the X. Oh, it's not going to want me to get this from inside of here, so... Hero Dev, welcome. Thank you so much for the raid. How are you doing today? How's your stream? And everybody who's coming with the raid, welcome. How are you all doing too? What we were working on today is we're playing a little bit of CodinGame. So CodinGame is a website, and it is a sort of AI battle. We are currently playing a map called Mad Pod Racing, and if we take a look at it, we're not winning right now. We're in Wood League. So we've won 3 battles so far. The first one I won 3 years ago when I played on my own. We won 1 yesterday, and we're trying to get to Bronze League today. We're going to see how it goes. We're doing a bunch of refactoring, and so we're doing this all in Rust, which is interesting to say. The least about it, we are currently losing against the AI boss this level, but this is sort of like, this is what the game looks like. We have the ability to boost, but it doesn't really help us. So we have to do a little bit more intelligence to get through this race. And that's what we're working on here. We're trying to keep track of the checkpoints we're going to, and then start turning to them early if we can. Jam on Toast, hello. You're good? Excellent. I've been doing pretty good. This is a lot of fun too, so that's always good. Okay, current checkpoint index equal, okay, is that, blah, blah, blah. We do that. Okay, so we figure out what the new, okay, so we now have the new, we've now set what the current checkpoint index is. So either it's the next one or it's this one. And this is all if we have seen, okay, so if we've seen the next checkpoint, we don't want to do anything, right? If we've not seen the next checkpoint, then we want to insert this checkpoint. So we want to push it to the end of the array. So self.checkpoints, we're going to push the next checkpoint in. And then we increment what our index is, and we either reset that to 0 because we're back at the beginning, or we continue on. So it's a little bit of state management there. Okay, so good. Now, if we know what the next one is, so if we're at the next checkpoint, now what I really want to do is I want to say if we're at the next checkpoint within 600 pixels. Now, are we at the next checkpoint? This is, I'm just checking, I'm just saying false all the time. All right, so what do we do here? Oh, wait, no, have we seen the next checkpoint? Okay, so we have not, or we have seen the next checkpoint, which means to go in there. Are we at the next checkpoint is the next question. Okay, so are we at the next checkpoint? And so this will be an if-else type thing here, isn't it? So if we are at the next checkpoint, then that's not necessarily helpful, is it? Really what I want to know is, are we approaching the next checkpoint? Oh, no, because if we're there, if we're at 600, it's it automatically like hits over for us. So this is, okay, this is going to let us see all the checkpoints. And it's just going to throw these in here. Will this work? This is just returning. Okay, if we're at the next checkpoint, figure that out. Have we seen the next checkpoint? And then go in there. I feel like this is not the logic I want to have. I feel what I want to do is if I hit, like when I get really close, I want to like cut my thrust to 0, turn, and then as soon as we hit it, we then start going again. I wonder if we want to just sort of rewrite a bunch of this. So like, ooh. That might be a tomorrow thing. For right now, are we at the next checkpoint means that our current checkpoint is not the same as the next checkpoint. So that's okay. That's what this is. We pass in. We know what the current checkpoint is, right? Retcher Squaredy, rating with a party 1. Welcome, 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 Retcher. How's your stream? What are you working on today? Hello, tiny raid with just you in a raid. Well, welcome anyways. We're glad to have you here. How was your stream today? Oh, you're doing Clash of Codes. Then you worked on your personal project. Nice. How are you doing in Clash of Codes? And what's your language of choice? Yesterday we tried some Clash of Codes and I got every single one, including ones I did afterwards on my own, were all the speed ones, where it's just like finish it first before everybody else, which is less fun. Python, nice. Python seems like it's pretty good for a lot of those clashes. Ooh, okay, so hold on. If I create what we think is the next checkpoint here. Oh, that's gonna work. It's a good language when you have to type fast to win a clash. I could imagine there's a lot less stuff you need to type out, but it's still readable. So we're doing Rust with this. I'm fairly new to coding game. We're doing the Mad Pod Racing Challenge, and we're in Wood League 1. The current, so I've had like some idea that's not fully baked yet in my brain, and probably gonna figure it out after I finish streaming, when I like have a chance to sort of calm down a little bit. My brain sort of like settles in. You know how it goes. You take a break and you figure it out. But I have an idea of what we can do to greatly simplify everything and also be faster. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if it actually will be faster, but I don't have enough time today before the end of the stream for us to implement it. So that is probably going to be a tomorrow afternoon thing. So we're going to say, yes, we're at the next checkpoint. In the case that we don't have a current checkpoint. Okay, so we get the current checkpoint. Why are you upset? Oh, because you're an option. Oh, yeah, that thing. I might want to like change this around too, because this is just getting, even though it's like all correct and all that stuff. We want to say true in this case, because true means like, hey, we need to do something else. Otherwise, we're just stuck there in the same one. Okay, so 3 ifs was enough to get to Bronze League, but now it's not going to work too well. Some clear strats needed. Yeah, so I'm thinking about what the strats are going to be without yet going into like it says we're eventually going to get into machine learning type stuff, which is exciting to get to because I have no idea what that means for us. But I think we could do simple and still get there to a degree. And there's some tricks I know that we can maybe implement, but as I've mentioned, re-architecture would be needed. Okay, so what are you up to? Yeah. Oh right, now you're the index. Okay, so I get the current. Are we at the next checkpoint? So if these equal, oh, I already got the index there. So really I want to check to see like, are we is this the same checkpoint? So this is literally the same logic as have we seen the next checkpoint. So I'm thinking that I have a weird thing going on here that's absolutely not needed. So are we at the next checkpoint? Is there. So like have we approached it? Guess you can recreate this game and train an agent in it. Oh, that'd be really fun. It's very interesting. You haven't seen everything like this before. Oh yeah. Also, this is Rust. If you haven't seen Rust before, this is going to be interesting as well. Let's see. So, all right, the next checkpoint. We have seen, okay, the next checkpoint. We push into checkpoints. I don't like this logic at all, but I think it might work. And we're debugging out what we've seen. So this might, we're not using that. That's fine. Why do I have IO? Oh, because yeah, we're printing out. Okay. Here's my thought. This will either work first try, or more likely not work at all, and we'll have to figure out what's going on. Moomy, hello. How are you doing today? Are we at the top of the leaderboards yet? Sure, of Wood 1 League. But we were that yesterday, so it doesn't really help. Okay. Ooh, okay. Hold on. I'm getting... Oh, no. I'm getting infinite checkpoints added in. It never... Okay. You've heard about Screep's game, but it's not this well done. They're very different in the way they're sort of implemented and what they're trying to do. I like this. This like looks like shiny and really good. It yeah. So like I'm just doing debug. Debug out, and it shows me this. So my attempt to do equals is not working. Do I have to implement equals also? Yeah, so here we have checkpoints. 10698, 5002. Yeah, look, it's just every frame it's adding in another checkpoint of the exact same one. So that's not correct. So what is happening? Okay, if we're at the next checkpoint, so if that's true, then we ask, have we seen the next checkpoint? And I put the next checkpoint in. But really what I want to do, oh, have we seen the next checkpoint? Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to loop through all the checkpoints, I bet. This is the wrong logic. So I don't care about this at all. We're going to say we are going to loop through, and then I want to be able to do a return early. So we're going to do a normal for loop. So for okay, so then we just want to check to see if these are equal to each other. Have we seen this one? So if next so if these are true, I want to return true, and we're done with the loop. Otherwise, we're going to reach the end and return false. I wonder if that will do it. You can save coordinates to the first checkpoint and stop adding checkpoints once you get those coordinates again. Yeah, that's what I was sort of hoping to try to do, is like, hey, have I seen that one again before? But I kind of did it wrong. Okay, I'm no longer infinitely adding in. Okay, so here we have 3 checkpoints. 4 checkpoints. Okay, and it's no longer adding to it. There we go. Okay, so we now have these checkpoints adding in, and we can see our current checkpoint index is always none. Well, that's not correct. Well, okay. So we're getting closer. Okay, so we have a next checkpoint. Are we at the next checkpoint? So if this is true, that means, okay, so the current checkpoint oh, I want the current checkpoint from our internal state. That's what I want. I want the current checkpoint from our state. Now this is just saying, okay, so get the index, get here. If the current one we're going after is true, okay, is then we are, oh, this is just checking to see if it's the target we're going after. This is not helpful. I need to know if the distance to the checkpoint is less than 600, then we're at the next checkpoint, aren't we? Oh, I don't need any of this, do I? This is silly. You are self dot next checkpoint distance is less than or equal to, what is it called? Checkpoint radius. So if we're at the next checkpoint, I want to increase our index. Now, I was trying to set this to be U. And then I want to, okay, so if we're at the next checkpoint, I almost think that this needs to be like in its own thing, doesn't it? Like, have we seen next checkpoint and we just push that in there? Like, I almost want to throw this out here. Oh, I want to throw this up here. So we just check that and just constantly every tick save that. If we are at the next checkpoint, then we're incrementing which checkpoint we're going after. And then, okay, so then we set our speed and we run. Okay, so we run towards, instead of self the next checkpoint X, we want to get I don't want to completely crash if this doesn't work, but this is not gonna be good. Self dot checkpoint index. You know what? We'll get the default. What could possibly go wrong with this? So it'll be 0. We're always going towards, we're always getting the 0th index from here. And then we want the checkpoint. Now I could unwrap this. I could also put a default on you. Jam, thank you again for the raid, and have a great rest of your day. Okay, so we have that. So now instead of self that next checkpoint X, we're gonna just do checkpoint.x. Checkpoint.y. Oh, the trait bound reference to checkpoint default is not satisfied. Oh, it's only for default. Exponential if grows. I do remember there's the old joke of classic video game AI is just a bunch of if statements, and you can absolutely do that. And then I vaguely remember there was like a professional game that made a ton of money, and when they looked at it, it was just literally thousands upon thousands of if statements inside of it. And I have no remember. Oh, Undertale, that's what it was. Yeah, Undertale. Thousands and thousands and thousands of if statements. So like, yes, you can make a ton of money with if statements, and only if statements, and not doing like advanced AI. That's where I heard it from. So if Pirate Games was wrong, then I'm giving false news. So hopefully Pirate Games is correct. Otherwise, I'm very sorry for giving false information. Okay, so I can't do unwrap or default because you are. Oh, but can I to owned this? Or this gives me a. Oh, okay. So can I to owned it, or do I have to clone it? No, because you're okay. So get. These returns a reference. Oh, but wait. I can do this. It gives me a map of it. So if I map you and I want to, it's a checkpoint. So let's just throw in, I mean, there can't be that many of them, so clone will be fine. And I have like 100 milliseconds to respond, so like I'm not worried about this. We clone it, and then once we clone it, now we unwrap our default. Hey, that works. Undertale is great though. Undertale is great. It absolutely is. I think it's more of like a serious thing where it doesn't matter how good the code is as long as it works, right? Which I think is the story that Pirate Games was trying to say, is like it literally doesn't matter as long as the product runs and you as like the customer are happy. Who cares? Like if this beats our opponents, who cares how well this works or not? I care, but only because I want to like refactor it later to add features to it. And that's really the time when we do stuff to it. And subtle design, that's pretty much all it is. Okay, so I get the checkpoint from here, and then we're doing checkpoint X and checkpoint Y. And so I should do an early turn now, because as soon as we hit that 600, I'm going towards the next thing that we're going for, as opposed to what the game tells us we're going towards. I think. I may be horrifically wrong because I have been known to skip steps in my brain, and then obviously it doesn't work. And if I go off towards the corner, it's because we got zeros. Or we're always going... we do that. So we got zeros. So I went after the checkpoint 1 twice. I went after checkpoint 1 twice. So, oh, that's fun. Oh, wait, I should have checked. Are we updating the index? So look at that. So the current index is always none, no matter what I'm doing here. So that's not correctly updating for us. So what I wanted to do was, okay, so are we at the next checkpoint? Then we update this, right? Self current checkpoint index plus equals to 1. Okay. And then if we're at the max, we set the index to that. Now, if we're not at the next checkpoint, so if we're not at the next checkpoint, we never increment, but that makes fine, right? We're moving towards it, theoretically, or we're just sitting there doing nothing, which is what's happening here. Why is that updating? So I guess we were too close, weren't we? Do we have a different, okay, so we started here and we got to 1. Okay, so 1 is much farther away. Yeah, look at that. We're always going towards 1. We see that checkpoint. I mean, I'm turning early, so that's good. But then I just don't do anything at all because as far as I can tell, oh, look at that. Okay, so I have the next checkpoint here, but my current checkpoint index is still none. Either that's not printing properly, or it has been the none this entire time, which is not what I want to have happened. So you start at 1, you start at none here. When we update the state, have we seen the next checkpoint? If we have not seen the next checkpoint, we push that in. So we make sure we have the first one in here, right? At this point of time, wait, are we at next checkpoint? Hold on, does that not? So this is working because we see ourselves turn. Wait, is that true? No, we see ourselves enter in. No, okay. Are we doing this at all? Ever? Are we ever at the next checkpoint? So next checkpoint, have we... I almost feel like what we want to do here is set at this point in time, if we're a none, what our index is. Like almost like an if none. So if this is not, I don't like this. But that is guaranteed to set it to be something now. I want to see, I want to try this to see what we get updated. Oh, that's even better. So now I see that this is always 1. Okay, so we have our radius there, our next checkpoint distance, we are 4,000 away from it. Okay, so we see, we have it in here. So here's 1. We are giving it zeros as we move towards it because in run, we had zeros for the index, or we had zeros for this. So let's change this to an error that tells us what's going on. So missing checkpoint. Missing index. So now we should get a crash, and it should tell us exactly what thing we're missing. Interesting. We don't get a crash at all. Our speed stuff is not correct. We're either getting speed of less than 0, okay, let's see what this is. Okay, so our speed is 100. Wait, we crash right away. Missing checkpoint. Okay, so we had that checkpoint here. Wait, did we? Oh. Did I set you to start at 1? No. Wait. Maybe? Why would I do that? What programming language am I programming where we start an index at 1? Am I working on Lua? Did I do Lua in my brain? I haven't programmed that in years. Still going after 1 the entire time. Oh, look at that. Our speed is negative 32. Okay. Current checkpoint index. I want to see what... Let's stop debugging the entire game state. And let's just debug... Let's not debug our speed. I want to debug our current checkpoint. So that is... I guess I want to debug our current index. Are we ever changing that? We know we're getting new stuff in here. And we can put in the game state. Okay, so I want to see, okay, so we're at 1. We get there, and our... So current checkpoint is 0. We add the next checkpoint, and we don't go to 1 again. So we're not marking that we ever got there. So is this... Are we at the next checkpoint? Hi, Steven. How are you doing today? It's been a while. How are things going? Oh, recovering from being sick? Ah, that always sucks. Ugh. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully you're feeling better soon. Yeah, we never get there. We never see it. That's what's going on. Okay, okay. So... This is never true. We are never at the next checkpoint. Now, what I was hoping to do is that I would say like, hey, is the next checkpoint distance? What I probably want to do is do the entire rigmarole. So we have our current X and Y. Okay, so let's do... So we're just gonna crash again. So we're gonna start doing crashing more often. So no index when checking if we are at next checkpoint. So if we have the index, then I want to get... I can just grab it and I don't have to use like a safe get. So this is gonna be the checkpoint is gonna be equal to self dot checkpoints of index, but I don't want to take ownership of it. We'll grab a reference of you out. And then we want to check to see if we're close to you. Which means want to say that checkpoint dot x. Oh wait, I need to do oh, what's the vector math for distance? It's been a few years since I did this. If I get the so x and y and my x and y, it's not tangent, it's x and y squared, right? It's x squared plus y squared equals our distance squared. So I want so I feel like I almost want to pull in a vector math library. Wait a second. No, that's not right. To get this, I do subtraction between my location and its location, and then I get the distance. That's what I want. Okay. So I have like a delta x, and that's going to be checkpoint dot x minus self.x. I don't want it to be a subtracted number, so I'm going to have to get the absolute value of that. And then we do the exact same thing with y. And then I want the distance. And that's going to be, so x squared plus y squared. So delta x power of index 2 plus delta y power of index 2. And I want to take that. And then I want to get the opposite of power is just square root, right? Is that correct? That's just square root? So then I want to check to see if distance, so I want if my distance subtracted from if my distance is less than or equal to checkpoint radius. Let's see if that works. Well, I didn't crash, so that's a good sign. But I'm still going after 1. And I don't believe I ever... Oh, wait. We got to the next checkpoint. Okay. So we got to the checkpoint, and yet we did not increase our current checkpoint. We stayed there. Okay. So that's good. So that works, I think. Right. Now I didn't do something silly like reset this in the loop, did I? No, I'm creating this out here and then I'm just updating you every single time. So that should be fine. Are we at the next checkpoint? So we got to this point. So we get our checkpoint's length. Then I want to increase u. So plus equals to 1. If you're greater than or equal to the index, set it to 0. Am I up by 1 by this? Do I want to just do greater than? Wait a second. Wait a second. I did this backwards. Oh no. If the index is greater than or equal to checkpoint's length. It always should be the other way around, so it was always setting it to 0. Oh no. Okay. We're ahead in the race, and we're actually moving through the course. Oh, wait. Nope. Okay, we're now behind. Okay, okay. So much better. We're really close to it. We are super close. So what I'm thinking is that we start braking earlier. So we basically mark that we are needing to go to the next checkpoint earlier. Can we do that without my big refactor? I don't know if I can easily do that because we don't know if we've reached the end of all that. And I think that's going to be next time. So the answer to whether or not we got to bronze today is no, but I have an idea of what we can do next time. We can update things. We can get a little bit, I can clean this up. I can make this a lot simpler. I think that us doing the dependent speeds. Opus Bopus, hello, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Purple If, thank you for the raid message. Thank you, everybody. Opus, how's your stream? What are you working on today? So Purple If, hello. The life is yours. Hello, Ryan Tupo. How are you all doing today? Oh, I'm so sorry. Opus, how was your stream? How was her stream? And what were you working on today? I guess while we're waiting, we are working on playing. I guess we buy a little bit more time. I mean, aren't we all dorks on here? So, I mean, that feels like just sort of normal for programming Twitch streams. Am I following you? I don't know if I am. I am not. Let me change that. Doing job things, working on Gumroad and Flexile, and doing the thing. Although very tired because he didn't get much sleep. I know exactly what that is. I am doing pretty good. I am trying to figure out this this sort of AI battle that we have. So if you've never seen this, this is CodinGame. This is basically one of those challenge websites where you just get a program and do challenges, except instead of the boring style, like, you know, katas that you see at some of the other ones, you have to program an AI to win a race. So in this case, we've got it where we actually go between all of the checkpoints and we're ahead for most of the race, but then we fall behind and we fail. So we need to, there's some things that we need to do to get better and obviously be faster. At this point, we're now behind and we are screwed. So that's unfortunate. I don't listen to Spotify. I don't have an account on Spotify anymore, or I haven't logged into it in years. I use Google Music these days. I got banned. I don't think I got banned. I just stopped using them because I wanted to not have to pay to multiple services, and I wanted Google Music, so I just sort of gave up on everybody else, so I only pay one thing. Okay, so yeah, so we're failing with this. This is not all that well. This is not going all that well. So we need to figure this out. Unfortunately, as I was sort of mentioning, we're running out of time. We can do one more sort of a test here, sort of see if we can figure out what's going on. So right now, we can tell if we're at the next checkpoint. We're going for here. What I kind of want to do is start turning towards the next thing. So are we at the next checkpoint? Maybe I want, like, are we approaching the next checkpoint? And if we are, I want to start turning then. So almost like, are we at the next checkpoint is this. What if I do plus, if we're less to plus self dot there was something about distance. Oh, point break distance. Or we can do let's do point break distance. I don't know if this is a good idea. This might be a very bad idea. But we're going to find out. Now I think I have that set to like 600. So it'd be double the length before I get there that it's going to try to turn. However, I apparently get lost. So what happened here? Are we at the next checkpoint? Either stops returning true at all, or we're already there. Do I want this to be a minus? I don't think so. But I don't know. My brain's a little bit fuzzy right now, so it's hard for me to know. So I'm just, let's do a random guess and see what happens. I'm always going towards, I'm always going towards 1. Oh, that's not. Okay. I think this is part of the rewrite that I was talking about that I think I need to do. What I need to do is track to see whether or not I've tracked all of the laps yet. And if I have, then the next time through I can do it better. That's what it is. I just have to do okay for the first lap and then really good on the second lap and third lap. So it's almost like the counter of like, which lap are we on? So I am going to do that next time. Until then, let's see. Is anybody streaming that I know? CM Griffin is doing Python with Vexilla. Let's go ahead and raid CM Griffin. And not do that. So raid CM Griffin. Wait, is it? Yeah, okay, correct channel. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you very much if you came with the raids and you stayed. I will be back tomorrow morning at around 7 a.m. Mountain Time, despite whatever my Twitch schedule says, and we'll be working on an Axum server. So we're sort of doing our, like, you know, more serious stuff in the morning, and then in the evening here, we're doing fun game stuff. So hopefully tomorrow afternoon we'll get into Bronze League. But I'm gonna come up with some ideas, or at least let myself think about it. So with that, have a great rest of your day and see you next time. Bye.